Donald Trump is the leader of the vegan movement.
The fuck did you just say to me? Hold up, let's back up here a second because these two call themselves the Vegan Bros, and they're saying that this guy is the leader of the vegan movement? So let me give you some context. So when vegans hear that Jennifer Lopez eats a plant-based diet, but then turns around and tortures 50 plus animals to death for a fur coat, we're justifiably like, whoa, that's fucked up. J-Lo's not vegan. Veganism is not a diet. When vegans hear that Jay-Z and Beyonce are promoting plant-based diets to tens of millions of their fans, while at the same time Beyonce is torturing countless raccoon dogs and other animals to death just for decorations in her music videos, we're like, okay, thank you, genuinely thank you for promoting plant-based foods. That is gonna save millions of animals. But veganism is not a diet. Please stop torturing animals to death for fashion. But when vegans hear that Donald Trump made it legal to gas and shoot hibernating baby bears and their mothers inside Alaska's wildlife refuges, to do the same to mother and baby wolves and coyotes, that he accelerated the pace of torture and murder in slaughterhouses. He's even allowed oil companies in to poison one of the last remaining polar bear habitats on Earth, one of many examples of his attacks on endangered species. Some people are still like, vegans voting for Trump. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. You know what, veganism, it's just a diet. Don't you tell me who I should and shouldn't vote for. Because you know what? Voting is a personal choice. Fuck the animals. Sound familiar? And then there's the Vegan Bros.
So remember, rule number 7 will eventually be veganism is apolitical. But in order to get there, right now, rule number 7 is Donald Trump is the leader of the vegan movement.
Okay, that statement probably still makes no sense to anyone. So to summarize their 20-minute long explanation, they basically think that progressive vegans have been running the movement for too long. So to make them feel welcome, and to get to the point where veganism is no longer a political issue, just for now, let's pretend like Donald Trump is the leader of the vegan movement. And to that I say this.
Now with people, and especially with politicians, I don't give a fuck what you say. I give a fuck what you do. Actions don't just speak louder than words, they're pretty much the only thing I give a shit about. So if you want a preview to what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be doing if they get a chance to work in the White House, let's take a look at what Joe Biden and Barack Obama were doing when they worked in the White House.
Let me give you one example. On just one day, with one stroke of the pen, the last legitimately elected president of the United States, Barack Obama, created a marine sanctuary in the Pacific Ocean the size of Texas, California, New York State, Florida, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Jersey combined. And because he banned oil extraction, mining, and industrial fishing inside the sanctuary, it is no exaggeration to say that that one single act saved the lives of billions of animals, including endangered whales and dolphins and species we haven't even discovered yet and didn't even know existed. And that was just one single signature, but it was part of democratic actions that led to the protection of earth and ocean and all the wild animals that live within them, equivalent to the size of all of Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom combined. And that's on top of hundreds of other actions, like making the biggest cuts in cancer-causing, birth defect-causing, climate-destroying, mass extinction-inducing greenhouse gases and toxic air pollution in human history. Truly monumental progress that orange moron is working on murdering every single day that criminal still lives in the White House. And Mike Pence will be no different. And all that progress that was made under Obama was with no pressure, absolutely no involvement from the vegan and animal rights movement. Can you imagine what would happen if the 20 million vegans in this country, and rising, didn't just show up at the ballot box, but we stood the fuck up and became an outspoken pillar of the Democratic family, alongside the movement for universal health care and fair wages. What's up? Alongside immigrants' rights groups. Alongside LGBT members of the armed forces. Alongside women fighting to protect themselves from sexual molesters like that treasonous piece of shit who still lives in the White House. and alongside a movement against police brutality and murder.
Now, some vegans will hear all of that and still not get it.
Oh, but Democrats are the worst. They do X, Y, and Z I don't even agree with. They're not even vegan. Except for Cory Booker. Shout out to the vegan senator from New Jersey.
And to be fair, it's true. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not vegan yet. Although with Cory Booker and Al Gore and other prominent vegan Democrats in a great position to influence them, who knows? Especially with Biden being such an animal lover, but that's beside the point. The point here, and this applies to people no matter what country you live in, is that vegans are only a tiny fraction of the world's population. We're a bit bigger portion in some Western countries, including the United States, but it's still estimated to be just about 3 to 6%. It's nowhere near enough to elect Gary Yourofsky or Tabitha Brown as president, as much as we'd like to do that. But
there's already enough of us in this country, in every swing state, that if we took enough time to vote, as we do to choose a damn filter on Instagram, the Republicans would never win the White House again, as long as they stand for brutality and cruelty towards the innocent. And if we are the reason that Democrats keep winning over and over again, you best believe our voices will matter in government, just like they already do out in California, where vegan Democrats are on the verge of outlawing animal experimentation for cosmetics. Or right here in Brooklyn, where the borough president, a vegan Democrat, is bringing plant-based education and plant-based meals into our schools. And in 3 cities out in Cali now, Democratic councils have succeeded in outlawing the bloody fucking fur industry, and we're just getting started.
And lastly, I just want to say to the vegan bros, I really genuinely wish you were right. I really wish that animal issues were not political and that Republicans and Democrats both agreed it was wrong to murder baby and mother hibernating bears while they sleep. But you know what? Every single Republican senator voted in favor of legalizing that form of murder. And Donald Trump had the power to veto that law, but he signed that law. Donald Trump's signature is on the death warrant for all of those animals. And 1,000 more examples I give in this article that was the result of 2 years of research into the Republican war on animals. Meanwhile, every single Democratic senator voted against that law. And the original law, designed to protect wildlife inside wildlife refuges, was passed by the Obama-Biden administration. I still agree with and support about 99% of what the vegan bros stand for. I like their style of activism. I appreciate what they're doing. Nobody should try and get these dudes canceled. Nobody should forget the blood, sweat, and tears that these dudes have been putting into the animal rights movement, into protecting animals for years now. I seriously appreciate that. I support that. I just disagree with you on this one issue. And I'm not trying to start drama or start beef by doing this. I'm against any sort of vegan beef, unless it's beyond beef, of course. I don't think we should be wasting time with infighting when 3,000 animals are being stabbed to death every single second. The reason that I find it very important to bring this up is that it's not just the vegan bros, but it's a very common misconception. It's a very massive blind spot in the entire animal rights movement. How important the outcome of elections, how important the actions of governments are in the life and death of animals. So we need to start paying attention. In the United States, there's no question. I will say this, in other countries, you don't even need to think about strategic voting. In the United States, okay, the next president is going to be Biden or Trump. What do? We help the better candidate win, and then we push the better candidate, Joe Biden, once he's president, to go even further, go even faster, to do more for animals. In other countries, you have a much better situation. Any country that has proportional representation, like Germany, like Israel, many countries that have a more accurate method of counting votes, of counting voters' will. That is, if you get 4% of the votes, you get 4% of parliament or Congress. Those people who live in those countries, you could just vote for animal rights vegan candidates. And we're already seeing that happen. Portugal has already elected animal rights representatives to their parliament. That's fucking amazing. Now the thing is that if you live in America, Canada, UK, we're not changing our voting system any fucking time soon. So we do need to be realistic because animals' lives are on the line. If you're trying to be idealistic and be like, oh, I'm not voting for anyone who's not vegan, animals are gonna die because of that immature mentality. okay? No decision that we make is perfect. Plant-based food in a supermarket still kills animals. It kills less animals than animal food, but we make the better decision for animals. The better choice for animals at the ballot box in America is Joe Biden. Thanks so much for everybody for watching, and I really want to emphasize this once again. Conservative, Republican, vegans, you are absolutely welcome into the movement. There's a really big difference between believing something and doing something. For example, you could be a member of any religion and you could think that in your religion's Bible might say that you should murder gay people. It might say that rape victims should marry the rapist. But if you don't do that, if you don't murder gay people, and in fact you don't agree with that part of your Bible, okay, great, and you're still a great person. When it comes to veganism, you could be a Republican in your mind, but if you're voting for Trump, if you're voting for Republicans, that's an action that leads to unnecessary torture and murder of animals. That's not a vegan action, okay? Continue to spread the good word within the Republican Party, but the word is, as long as Republicans have these policies that are deadly to animals, even if you're a Republican at heart, whatever that means, you're gonna have to vote for the better party for animals. Anyways, I'm gonna take this dude for a walk. Have a beautiful night. Fingers crossed, the Trump era is almost finally fucking over. Peace.